responding, then I will absent you from today's class.
I think his mic is not working, ma'am, because he's
No, no, no,
continuously
no,
switching
no.
it on and off.
Okay. Then Priyanshu, tell me what is drift current and diffused current?
Well, diffusion current in a semiconductor occurs due to diffusion of charge carriers, and drift current in the semiconductor occurs due to the movement of the minority in the majority carriers in the semiconductor.
What
PN
is the
junction diode.
okay? What is the diffusion current?
Ma'am, it occurs due to diffusion of charge carriers.
Charge carriers and minority carriers and majority carriers. What are the difference between charge carriers? What do you mean by charge carriers?
Charge carriers mainly diffusion current occurs mainly due to the movement of electrons from the n side to p side, and drift current like occurs when minority carriers in the p side like holes and no, like
Wait a
electrons in
minute.
the
Wait
p
a minute.
side.
Wait a minute. Atunu, I am not hearing you. Okay, you are not audible. Please continue, Priyanshu.
Ma'am, the minority charge carriers in the p side that are electrons and in the n side that are holes, the combined effect of their movement is known as the drift current.
I think you are understand, but you are not clearly expressed your what you think. So again, anyone can tell me what is drift current and what is diffuse current?
Ma'am, the diffusion current is due to the concentration of gradient. Means movement of concentration of high concentration to lower concentration, due to which current carry, and that current is known as diffusion current. And drift current is due to the applied electric field on movement charge carriers.
No, 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 not the applied electric field.
After applied
Actually,
electric field.
no. Both the cases, diffusion current and drift current, both the cases, there is no external supply applied to the semiconducting material. Okay, both the cases we are not supplying any external voltage to the semiconducting material. When at the moment of when we form the PN junction, at the starting moment, what happened? In n-type semiconductor, in excess of electrons are there. In p-type semiconductor, excess of holes are there. So what they do? From p-type semiconductor, holes moving towards the n side, and similar things happens when in n-side semiconductor, electrons moves towards the p side. When electrons move towards the p side, my window is visible, I think. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Here, from n-type, electrons moving from n-type to p-type at the starting of formation of p-n junction, and holes moving type to n-type. When holes moving from p-type to n-type and accept electron to make to complete his covalent bond, what happened? When it accept the electron from inside atom, what happened? The n-type material and p-type material both are neutral condition. If one electron leaves from an atom, then that atom should be negatively charged ion. Here same things happen. Holes in p-type accept the electrons from n-type semiconducting material and makes and complete its covalent bond. So here in the n-type region, atom releases electrons and becomes positive charge. At the starting moment, whole the n-type semiconductor material does not give its releases electrons. One by one, this procedure takes place. So number of positive part in the n-type n side increases. Okay. Therefore, in the n side, PN junction diode, in the n side, the junction point in the junction point, in the inside junction point, positive ion are accumulated in the end junction point of the inside. Okay, similar thing happened. Electron at the same time, electron also attract the holes from the p side and it accept the holes. That means holes is released from this p side atom. When hole released from the p side atom, that means this atom should be negatively charged and these are accumulated near the junction point. So at the junction point in p-type region, negative charge ions are concentrated and in n-type region, positive charge ions are concentrated. During this time, what happened? In the n-type, electrons diffuse the holes and holes diffuse the electrons. And positive charge ions are accumulated on the junction in the n side and negative atoms or ions are accumulated in the junction in the p side. This process is called, that means electrons in n side and holes in p side diffuse each other. Due to the movement of electrons and holes in this process is known as diffusion. And due to the movement of these carriers, minority carriers and majority carriers, the current is flowing inside the semiconducting material. This is called diffusion current. Okay, at the starting. After a certain time later, what happened? Number of positive ions accumulation in the n side and number of negative ion accumulation in the p side increases. That means in n side positive charge is there, in p side negative charge is there. So there is a potential difference is created in the junction point. Due to this potential difference, electron and hole movements also, that means this potential difference push the electrons or negatively charged ion towards the n side and force the positively charged ion in the n side towards the p side. Due to this movement of charge by the force of potential difference, a current is constituted inside the semiconducting material. This current is known as drift current. That means at the starting, electron diffuse holes, holes diffuse electrons, current is flowing, this is diffusion current. When electron diffuse the holes, holes diffuse electrons, positive charge and negative charge are accumulated near the junction point. Due to the accumulation of positive ion and positively charged ion and negatively charged ion, potential difference is created at the junction point. Due this potential difference forces the negatively charged ion towards the n side and positively charged ion towards the p side. Therefore, there is a movement of ion exists. Due to this movement, another current is flowing inside the junction, drift current, and these are just opposite to diffusion current. If you see the figure, this electron diffusion in this way, electron drift in this way, hole diffusion in this way, holes from the p side diffuse the electron in the n side. Due to the potential difference created here, positive charge ion moved this potential difference push the positive charge ion towards the p side. This is called hole drift. This potential difference force the electron to negative charge ion to move towards the n side. This is called electron drift. Clear? Any doubt? Diffusion and drift. After a certain time, first at the starting, diffusion current start. That means at the sorry. At the time of starting, diffusion start. So diffusion current is greater than the drift current. After a certain time later, potential difference created between in the junction point due to the accumulation of this positive charge and negative charge ion. Then drift current starting. At the starting, when the potential difference created in the junction point, then drift current starting. When drift current starting, at that time, also diffusion current is greater than drift current. But this potential difference, that means when diffusion current greater than drift current, more and more number of positive and negative charges accumulated near the junction point. If the number of ions accumulation are in the junction point is increased, potential difference also increased. If potential difference increased, then what happened? This potential difference forces the negatively charged ion towards the N side. Drift current is starting. This potential difference forces the positively charged move towards the P side. Drift current starting. And when the potential difference increases, the force applied to the positively charged and negatively charged ion will be increasing, and drift current of due to hole and electron will be increasing. After a certain time, you see that diffusion current equals to the drift current, and at that time, then PN junction formed, and total PN junction is neutral condition, equilibrium state. Then PN junction semiconductor goes to an equilibrium state. When PN junction semiconductor achieve the equilibrium state, at that time there is no diffusion, there is no drift. Clear? Any doubt? Any? Shreyashi? If you are not responding, then I will stop.
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Shreyashi? Shreyashi, are you here?
Hello. Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Are you present in the class?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes,
I understand a little bit,
clear,
but then I
clear.
got confused again.
Again confused?
No, it's a little difficult for me to explain why, because actually I'm not from here and
Okay,
there is no current,
okay.
so it's too hot, so
Okay,
I
okay.
couldn't concentrate.
No. Okay, sure. Oh, okay. Listen. First, you tell me how diffusion start.
Well, because of the applied electric field from the potential.
No. During the diffusion process, during the drift process, there is no external supply.
It is the electric field
external
generated.
supply. No. If you assume positively charged ion is there and negatively charged ion is there, they are very close to each other. They will attract each other or repel each other.
Attract each other, and that is how diffusion.
Attract each other. Yes. Here you say, wait a minute. Okay. This is the p-type material. This is the n-type material. Okay, they are placed here. I've already discussed that alloying process. We get the PN junction. Okay, I am not going through that portion. This is the p-type material. This is the n-type material. N-type material has excess number of electrons and p-type material has excess number of holes. So holes are positively charged and p-type material electrons, n-type material electrons are negatively charged. What happened? Holes always want to attract the electrons from the n-type material.
Yes, ma'am.
Because in the n-type material, excess of electrons are there and they make the covalent bond. That means they complete the covalent bond. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Similar thing happened in this case n-type. N-type material, n-type semiconductor material always attract the holes from the p-type material. Why? Because here excess of holes are there and here excess of electrons are there. So they are makes the complete the covalent bond. If in n-type material, if when p-type material in p-type material holes attract the electrons, that means from this n-type material electrons leaves.
Yes,
so this n-type material should be negatively charged.
Yes.
they are going to the junction. That means that this atom going to the junction point, p-n junction point. Similar
Yes,
thing
ma'am.
happened in this case.
Yes,
When
ma'am.
holes are coming from the atom, this should be negatively charged and then come to the junction point.
Yes,
Due
ma'am.
to this, here you see that there is no external force. We are not applying any external supply. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Then what happened? In this way, near the junction
Diffusion
point,
takes place.
in this way, diffusion takes place and diffusion
Yes,
current
ma'am.
flowing inside the semiconducting material. After a certain time later, at the junction point, accumulation of negatively charged ion and accumulation of positively charged ions are more and more at the junction point. Here in this side, negatively charged ion are there. In this side, positively charged ions are there. So there is a potential difference would be exist in between these
Yes,
two.
ma'am.
Due to this potential difference, here again we are not supplying any external supply. Inside, everything happen inside the semiconducting material at the junction point. We are not supplying anything. So, due to this potential difference forces the negatively charged ion towards the n type and positively charged ion towards the p type. Due to the movement of the negatively charged ion towards the n side and positively charged ion to the p side, drift current produced. This is called drift current.
Drift current.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
When diffusion current at the starting, diffusion current increases because at the starting there is no drift current because there is no potential difference. Okay. After
Yes,
a certain time, accumulation of positive and negative ion are there, so potential difference exists and drift current and starting. So time to time, what happened? Drift current increases. When drift current equals to the diffusion current, equilibrium state achieved by that semiconducting material. Okay.
Yes,
In
ma'am.
this way, we get semiconducting material. I think it is
Understood, ma'am.
clear.
Yes.
It is clear
Yes,
for
ma'am.
everyone, or any doubt? At the end of the semester, if
Yeah.
anyone can tell me that you have doubt, then you see that at that time. If you have doubt now, you can ask me freely. Again, I am discussing. What is your name? Bibayon Chakraborty.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your name? How I pronounced? I'm thinking I'm not clear. My pronunciation is not clear, not correct. Also, Bibayon.
It's
Your name?
Bimbayan, ma'am.
Bibayon. Okay. So it is clear for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next, you write what is potential. Here you see the excess electron in N region crosses the junction and combine with the excess hole in the P region. N region loses its electrons, become positively charged. P region accepts the electrons, become negatively charged. At one point, the migratory action is stopped. That means the semiconducting material reaches its equilibrium state. Barrier potential. What is barrier potential? In the state of equilibrium, there is no current in the p-n junction because potential difference, there is a drift current is equal to diffusion current. So further potential difference is not increases. So equilibrium state if achieved, then there is no current in the p-n junction. That means stable condition. A difference of potential develops across the junction of two regions due to the loss of electrons by N region and subsequent gain by P region. The polarity of the potential opposes further flow of carriers to maintain the state of equilibrium. This is the barrier potential. That means we achieve the equilibrium state. There is at the equilibrium state, there is no current in the p-n junction. A difference of potential developed across the junction. I have already discussed how differential potential difference exists, develops across the junction of the two regions due to the loss of electrons in N region and subsequent gain by electrons in the P region. The polarity of the potential opposes the further flow. At the equilibrium state, polarity of the that is the potential developed or created at the junction point opposes to the flow of electrons and holes. Further flow of electrons and holes in the equilibrium state. This is the barrier potential. That means first diffusion current start in both the side, then drift current start in both the side, then at the time reach when diffusion current is equal to drift current. When diffusion mu when diffusion current is equal to drift current, at that time equilibrium state, that is a stable condition we achieved. Okay, at the stable condition, potential difference at this depletion region resists to further flow of electrons and holes. This is called potential barrier or barrier potential. You write this point. What is barrier potential? Difference of potential develops due to the flowing of losses of electrons in the N region and gaining of electron in the P region. The polarity of the potential, in this way, polarity of the potential develops in the depletion region. After a certain time, when drift current is equal to diffusion current, at that condition, this potential, this developed potential the difference of further flow of electrons or any kind of further flow of holes. That means any kind of movement of the carriers, any carriers, minority and majority carriers, to maintain the state of equilibrium. This is the barrier potential. তুমি নিজেই বলো একটা স্টেবল কন্ডিশন যদি কেউ রিচ করে সেটা কি নরমাল ওয়েতে সেটাকে আনস্টেবল কন্ডিশনে নিতে পারবে পারবে না যতক্ষণ না যে কোনো একটা এক্সটার্নাল মেজার্স তুমি অ্যাপ্লাই করো. If we have the external supply voltage, if you apply the external force, then you convert the stable condition to the unstable condition. If anyone can reach the stable condition, you can't move the stable condition to the unstable condition without applying any external measures. Okay, same thing happened in this case. When diffusion current is equal to drift current, equilibrium condition reached by that semiconductor material. When equilibrium condition reached by that semiconductor material, then potential difference in the depletion region opposes the further flow of the carriers. So this potential difference is known as the value of the potential difference is known as the barrier potential. Any doubt barrier potential? Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Please respond. Okay. I think yesterday Seoshi or I don't forget the name asked me the reference book. This is the Boyle state. You follow the Boyle state. BOYELSTED. Boyle state book is very good for analog electronics.
Ma'am, is it state or
You write STED. State.
Ma'am, can you write the name in the chat box, please?
Okay. At the end of the class, I will write in the chat box. Okay.
Okay.
So first you write this portion. I think it is completed for everyone. What is the book name? Boyle state. Complete? This is very, very problematic that you are not responding. I don't know why you are not responding. Third year, all the students, if I asking, they all answer yes or no. But you are very lagging. Repeatedly I'm asking complete. Then one person. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, sometimes your voice comes too
So,
late.
okay, barrier potential. Any doubt? And all of you writing this this 4 or 5 lines completed or not?
Completed,
If
ma'am.
completed,
Yes, ma'am,
then
done.
completed. Okay. Then next point, biasing condition. When we discussing about the biasing condition, that means we apply the external voltage. Up to this, we are not applying external voltage to the supply semiconducting device or semiconducting material. Here we apply the external voltage. In P-type and N-type, there are two operating region, P-type and N-type. And biasing, 3 types of biasing are there. That is the zero bias, forward bias, and reverse bias. Zero bias means there is no external voltage applied to the PN junction, and the behavior of the PN junction when there is no external voltage is applied to the PN junction, and then behavior is known as the zero bias condition. And forward bias means I have already saw the symbol of the diode, that is the arrowhead, and one here symbol is not there. If I have a symbol, then I will show you. Wait a minute. This is the symbol of the diode. Okay. If the positive terminal of the external source is connected in this side, that means arrowhead side, that means this is positive, and negative terminal is connected in this side, then this is forward bias. And reverse order is the reverse bias. So first we discuss about the forward bias condition.
Ma'am, can you please tell about the zero bias again?
Zero bias means we are not applying any external voltage to the semiconductor material. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, we can say it unbiased, right?
Yes. So forward bias. What is forward bias? Forward bias, here you see this figure. This is the P-type. This is the semiconducting material. Okay. This is the single material. This is not the two material. This is the compound material. Extrinsic type semiconducting material. This side is the P-type side, and this side is the N-type side. That means P-type side is represented by arrowhead. That means this is the P-type side, and this line, straight line, represent the N-type side. Clear? Clear? Which side is the P-type? This is called anode. Looks like A. Arrowhead looks like A. So this is anode, and this line represent the cathode. Back side of the K, this is the cathode. If you remember this type, this way. Okay, clear? Which side is the P side, which side is the N side, which side is the K type and the cathode, and which side is the anode. It is clear for everyone? Arrowhead is anode. First you draw this symbol and write in your copy that arrow side, you just arrow this and write this is anode, this is cathode. Anode side is the P type and cathode side is the N type.
And
Complete.
arrow side is the anode.
Anode. And this is the P type. Arrow, anode. Okay. Can I
Ma'am,
proceed?
can you go back to the diagram for a second? The previous one. Yes,
This
ma'am. Just 1 second. Just 1 second.
1 second is complete. You tell me just 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Then this is the forward bias. First we discuss about the forward bias. Forward bias. In forward bias, we always connected the P side to the positive terminal of the external voltage and N type. to the negative terminal of the external voltage. Forward bias, positive side is P-type semiconducting material side is connected to the positive, and N connected to the negative. N for negative connected to the negative supply, P for positive connected to the positive supply in the forward bias condition. Okay. So when you connected the P-type side to the positive, this is the forward bias condition. When you connected the P-type with the positive side of the supply, then voltage is flowing. That means we apply the voltage across this, and in the stable condition, there is a potential difference in the deflection region. Okay? If that means in normal condition, when there is no external connection in the semiconducting material, in the connection zone, that is the junction point, junction zone, an electric field always exists due to the negatively charged ion and positively charged ion. Okay? When we connected this PN junction or this semiconducting device to the external supply in this fashion, that means positive terminal of the voltage source is connected to the P side and negative terminal of the voltage source is connected to the N side. That means we applied external voltage to this semiconducting material. And here you see this is the positive and this is negative. Inside the depletion region, that means the electric field which is develops inside the semiconductor material, the direction is this is the negative and this is the positive, just opposite to each other. So resultant electric field, if resultant electric field is less than this electric field which is developed inside the semiconducting material, then resistance of this material will be increases. But if you apply the extra voltage, if you increase this voltage, then what happens? After a certain time, you see that the external voltage much greater than the electric field develops inside this PN junction material. So when this field is larger compared to this electric field, then what happened? This region will be, the thickness of this region will be decreasing, and resistance offered by this material will be decreasing, and current is flowing through the external circuit. This is the forward bias condition. When you apply the forward bias, the depletion region, thickness of the depletion region will be decreases, resistance offered by the semiconducting material will be decreases, because the resultant electric field is greater than this electric field. This is the positive terminal, this is the negative terminal. So easily the resistance offered by this junction is low when you apply the positive, when you connect the positive terminal to the P type and negative terminal to the N type. Okay, here you see when both the electric fields added up, that means both the electric fields means electric fields develops inside the semiconductor material plus electric fields applied by the external supply. The resultant electric field has a magnitude lesser than the built-in electric field. Resultant electric field, that means the summation of these two is lesser than the built-in electric field. The result is less resistive and thinner depletion region. The depletion region resistance becomes negligible when the applied voltage is large. In silicon at voltage 0.6 electron volt, that is a 0.6 volt, the resistance of the depletion region becomes completely negligible and the current flows across it. Flowless current will flow through the circuit. Okay. Similar thing in reverse bias. Reverse bias, you see that forward bias, P connected with the positive, N connected with the negative. Reverse bias, N connected with the positive, P connected with the negative. Then we apply the voltage with the negative, positive added with the, therefore resultant electric field is much greater than this. So the depletion region will be increasing and offered higher resistance to flow the current. Therefore, we can't get the current in the external circuit. If we again increasing the external voltage, breakdown occurs. Later I will discuss. But this is the reverse bias condition. Reverse bias condition means negative terminals connect to the positive, positive terminal connected to the negative, and summation of the total voltage, that is the resultant voltage, is equal to the voltage of this and voltage of this summation. But this is a negative and this is negative, this is positive, this is negative positive. So what happened? The resultant voltage is less, the resultant voltage is large compared to the depletion region voltage, or you can say that compared to the voltage develops inside the depletion region. So this semiconducting material offers high resistance to the flow of current. The depletion region becomes more resistive and thicker if applied voltage becomes larger. If you increasing the voltage, resultant voltage will be larger and depletion region will be increasing. Because here you see, when two fields are added, the resultant electron fields say in the same direction as in built in the electric field, creating in moving the resistance. Thicker depletion region. If the electric field are same region, then for resultant electric field is larger. If the resultant electric field is larger, that means it opposes the flow of offered the high resistance, that means opposes the flow of electron. So outer side, that means current flowing through the diode will be less. This is the reverse bias. Any question, forward bias, reverse bias connection, you can ask me.
No doubts, ma'am.
Okay. Then this is the formula of p-n junction, which is not so important. Next is the how does similar thing. VI characteristics of p-n junction. VI characteristics. I am already discussed that if we in the reverse bias condition, if we increase the voltage, then what happened? Junction semiconductor device will be damaged. So this is happened in this case. Okay. So this is the forward bias condition. This graph comes from forward bias condition, and this graph shows the reverse bias condition. Forward bias means P types connected with the positive terminal of the external voltage, and N type connected with the negative terminal of the external voltage. In the semiconductor device, we all know that there is a forbidden energy gap between valence band and conduction band. If we apply the supplied voltage exceeds the forbidden energy gap, then electrons from valence band going to the conduction band and start conducting. That means we get the current in the external circuit. Here in this figure, you see that this point is the 0 point, 0 point is the stable condition. First, we apply the voltage. You assume the material is silicon. Okay. So silicon and made silicon with any kind of p-n junction made of silicon. That means voltage is near about 0.6 volt. That means the forbidden energy gap is 1.1 electron volt. Okay. So if first we apply the voltage, that is 0.1 volt. There is no current. But at the room temperature, pure semiconductor, at room temperature, some covalent bonds in the pure semiconductors are breaks. I have already discussed. So there is some electron and holes. So these electrons going to the outer circuit and constitute a current. Due to this reason, we get a minimal amount of current in this portion. Okay. After a certain time, that means in this point here you see just the line above the voltage reference. At this point, what happened? That means if we increasing the voltage slowly, at the point we apply 1 voltage or 1.1 voltage, what happened? Depletion region resistance will be low and current start. That means resistance offered by the semiconductor material is decreasing and current start flowing through the semiconducting material, and this shows the curve. After a certain time, you see that the VI characteristic curve, that means if we increase the voltage and we get the current outside the semiconducting material, that means external circuit, is directly proportional. Here, before some voltage, this value is very less. After this voltage, it's just increasing, and after this voltage, that means here 3 point is there. This is the starting point, this is another point, this is another point. There are some name is there. Okay. So after this, current is just directly proportional to the voltage. If you increase the voltage, you get the current directly proportionally. The VI characteristic of PN junction diode is a curve between the voltage and current through the circuit. Voltage is taken along x-axis and current is taken along y-axis. The above graph is the VI characteristics curve. PN junction diode with the help of the curve understand the 3 region, that is the zero bias, forward bias and reverse bias. When PN junction diode is under zero bias condition, there is no external voltage. That means that applied, and this means the potential barrier at the junction does not allow to the flow of current. That means at zero bias condition, that means that original position there is no current and we are not applying any external voltage. Potential barrier will opposes the flow of current or flow of carriers, that is the minority carrier and majority carriers. So there is no current in the external circuit. That means we are not getting any current from the semiconducting through the semiconducting material. Okay. Then when forward bias, when PN junction diode is under forward bias condition, P type connected to the positive terminal and N type connected to the negative terminal. And the diode arranged in this manner, there is a reduction of potential barrier. Potential voltage, resultant voltage will be decreases. That means resistance offered by that semiconducting material will be decreases, and the semiconducting material start conducting. At that point, potential barrier is decreasing. That means the resultant electric field will be decreasing and resistance offered by the semiconducting material is decreasing. So the diode start conducting. That means current, we get the current in the external circuit, this region. For silicon diodes, when the voltage is 0.7 volt and germanium diodes 0.3 volt, the potential barrier decreases, there is a flow of current. When the diode is in forward bias, the current increases slowly and the curve obtained is non-linear as the voltage applied the diode overcoming the potential barrier. Due to this reason, at the starting point, the curve is not linear. In this portion, curve is not linear. That means in this portion, applied voltage just overcoming the potential barrier. Once the potential barrier is overcome by the diode behaves normally and the curve rises sharply as the external voltage increases, the curve obtained is linear. Up to this, zero bias and forward bias, VI characteristics. Any doubt? Up to this, not the reverse bias. Zero bias and forward bias, VI characteristics of diode. That means, again I am discussing that Zero bias, that means when there is no external voltage, that means that 0 point. Due to the potential barrier, semiconducting material is under stable condition, that means equilibrium state. So potential barrier opposes the flow of any types of carrier, minority or majority. So there is no current at 0 point. Any question at 0 bias?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Then consider the forward bias. In forward bias condition, p-type material is connected, p side of that semiconducting material is connected to the positive terminal of the external DC supply, and inside of the semiconducting material is connected to the negative side of the DC supply. Okay. Then what happened? If we increase the voltage, the potential barrier and the supply voltage, we measure the resultant voltage. If the resultant voltage is less, then start conducting. Potential barrier voltage, here you see, when the diode is arranged in this manner, there is a reduction in potential barrier. For silicon diode 0.7 and germanium 0.3. The potential barrier decreases. When you increases the voltage, potential barrier voltage will be decreases. Because here you see the figure. You apply this, that means potential barrier, this is a positive terminal, this is the negative terminal of the potential barrier, and this is the positive terminal of potential barrier. Negative terminal of the potential barrier connected to the positive terminal of the side. So when you apply increase the applied voltage, externally applied voltage, then this voltage developed inside that is the electric field developed inside the semiconductor material will be decreases. That means resultant voltage is decreases. If this voltage decreases, then the opposition offered by this material will be decreases, and the current flowing through the semiconducting material, and we get the current in the external circuit. And this figure, this graph shows this. At this point, applied voltage just try to overcoming the potential barrier. At this point, applied
So
potential
angle of the
voltage,
cylinder,
applied voltage
okay,
overcoming the potential
that
barrier, and voltage and current is directly proportional. In reverse bias condition, what happened? N-type, inside of the PN junction is connected to the positive terminal of the supply, and P side of the PN junction or semiconducting material is connected to the negative terminal of the supply. When the PN junction diode is under negative biased, this connection, we made this type of connection. This result is increases in potential barrier. That means here you see the figure, negative side connected to the p-type, that means negative side of the developed electric field inside the semiconducting material. That means this negative added each other, this positive added each other. Therefore, this potential barrier voltage will be increasing. If the potential barrier voltage will be increasing, the depletion region will be increasing, and resistance offered by this semiconductor material will be increasing. So, if the resistance offered by the semiconductor material will be increasing, we can't get any current in the external circuit. This is happen in the reverse bias condition. In the beginning, as minority carrier are present in the circuit, here you see in the figure, some currents are flowing due to the minority carrier. At the beginning, due to the minority carrier, some current is flowing. At the certain time, there is no current, but if you increase the voltage, then breakdowns occur. That means the barrier potential will be increasing and breakdowns occur. When the applied voltage is increased, the minority charges will have increased kinetic energy, which affects the majority charges. This is the stage when diode breaks down. That means diode will be damaged. So in the reverse bias condition, we can't operate a diode. We always operate a diode in the forward bias condition. Another diode is there, name is Zener diode. Zener diode operates at only the reverse bias condition. Next class or coming classes, I will discuss about the
angles
generator.
of the
But today
cylinder,
you think
okay,
that only the
that
diode
measured from
always
X.
we connect in the forward bias condition, because in negative bias condition, due to the minority carrier, some current is flowing. But if you increase the external voltage, diode will damaged. So when the applied voltage increase, the minority carrier charges increase the kinetic energy, it will damage the or breaks the diode. This is the negative bias condition. Okay. And this current is known as reverse current or leakage current, because this current is flowing due to the minority carriers, not the majority carrier. So it is known as reverse current. Here you write some important point, that is the breakdown voltage, knee voltage, and maximum forward current, peak in, so this is not the peer inverse voltage, this is the peak inverse voltage, and maximum power rating. Here I am told that in the reverse bias region, if we increase the voltage, then diode breaks down. How much amount of voltage you increase or how much amount of voltage you applied in the reverse bias condition, this is determined by the peak inverse voltage of that particular diode. Diode to diode, this peak inverse reverse voltage is changing. So particular diode, that is a specific magnitude, we can apply in the reverse direction. Any question? Any question?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then you write the term. What is breakdown voltage? First you write this heading. Here you see, in the case of reverse voltage, a small amount of reverse current will flow. Here you see, small amount of reverse current will flow due to the minority carriers. Again, if you increase the voltage, then what happens? Barrier potential will be increased and resistance offered by the semiconductor will be increased, but you increase the applied voltage, so total breakdowns occur. Due to the, if there is a short circuit, if any short circuit occurs in the electrical circuit, what happens? Here, high amount of current, large amount of current is flowing. Here, same case is happened. Current is flowing and directly proportional to the voltage in the reverse direction. So at the point where the current start to increase and current start to increase in the reverse direction, directly proportional to the voltage versus current. Current is directly proportional to the voltage. This voltage is known as breakdown voltage. In the case of reverse voltage, breakdown voltage, this name is only applicable in reverse bias condition, not in forward bias condition. Here again you tell me that this at this moment in the forward bias direction, current is directly proportional to the voltage, and in the reverse bias condition, at this voltage current is directly proportional to the voltage applied voltage. But this voltage is the breakdown voltage, because at this voltage semiconductor material or PN junction will totally damage, and but at this condition we get the current in the external circuit. At the same time, PN junction is healthy condition. Okay, this voltage is known as knee voltage, and this voltage is known as breakdown voltage. In case of reverse voltage, a small amount of reverse current will flow through the PN junction due to the minority carrier. After that, when increasing the reverse voltage, it will reach a point at which the junction breakdowns with an unexpected increment of reverse current. Breakdown voltage is defined as it is a reverse voltage at which PN junction breaks down with unexpected increment of reverse voltage. This is called breakdown voltage. That means if you apply the voltage in the reverse direction, this is the reverse direction, this junction breaks down. That means total breakdowns occur inside the semiconducting material. total damage. You just throw this semiconductor material into the dustbin. You can't use again. So this is called reverse. This is called breakdown voltage, and this is the this is called reverse breakdown voltage. To write
Ma'am,
this, yes.
can you please give us 10 to 15 minutes break?
Oh, it is already
10
10.
minutes.
Okay. I will give you the break. But first you write down these two, 3 or 4 lines. Then I will give you the break. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
After the break, I will start knee voltage. So first you complete the breakdown voltage, and within the break, if you have any doubt, if you any question comes in your mind, after the break you can ask me. Okay. Complete breakdown voltage.
Yes, ma'am. Writing the last one.
Okay. Okay, now time is 3:06. All of you come within 3:10 or 12. Within 12. Okay, 6-minute break. Depends on the temperature. If you increase the temperature of the semiconducting material, what happens? Covalent bonds breaks, and when you increasing this temperature, number of covalent bonds breaks are increasing. That means if the covalent bonds are increasing, breaks down of the covalent bonds are increasing, then what happens? Electrons and holes are released from the outermost orbit of the covalent bond. Then, if the electrons or holes are released, electrons attract by the holes and holes are attracted by the electron. Therefore, more number of positive charge and negative charge ions are accumulated near the junction. If the number ion positive charge ion and negative charge ion accumulation of the positive charge ion and negative charge ion in the junction increasing, that means potential barrier also increasing. That means electric field developed inside the will be increasing. If you increase the temperature, that means current conduction will be increasing in the semiconductor material. So barrier potential will be decreasing and current conduction will be increasing. Yes. Next, knee voltage. What is knee voltage? Knee voltage in forward biasing of PN junction, a very small amount of current will pass from the junction until the forward voltage crosses the value of the junction barrier potential. This is the knee voltage at the point where junction barrier potential. Here you see in this region, applied voltage just overcoming the barrier potential. At that point, it completely overcomes the barrier potential and the applied current directly proportional to the applied voltage. This is point is the knee voltage at where external voltage completely overcomes the barrier potential. In case of silicon semiconductor material, then knee potential is 0.3 and 0.6 and germinal is 0.3. So passes through the junction until the forward voltage crosses the value of the junction potential at 0.3 for germanium and 0.7 for silicon. The forward voltage at which the current passes the PN junction start very quickly. That means just follow the straight line. That means current is directly proportional to the voltage. The voltage at which current just follow directly proportional to the voltage. This potential is known as knee voltage. This is the forward voltage, not the reverse voltage. At the forward voltage at which current just upward direction, that means current just varies directly proportional to the voltage. This voltage is known as the knee voltage. Clear for everyone what is the knee voltage?
Yes,
At
ma'am.
which voltage external supply voltage overcome the barrier potential and current just follow the conduction rule, that means the Ohm's law. Current is directly proportional to the voltage. This potential is known as the knee voltage. You write this point. You just write this heading and this true line. The forward voltage at which the current passes the PN junction starts very quickly is known as knee voltage. Complete?
Positive also. In that case, the inward direction will
No,
be
ma'am,
negative.
writing.
Whatever you take, it's absolutely the no. Okay. So
I will uploaded this note in the Google Classroom. So for today's you only write this two line, not whole the para. And in Boylsted you can get everything.
Done, ma'am.
You draw this figure. This is the knee voltage. Here you see current start follow the Ohm's law. This is the knee voltage. Just overcoming the barrier potential. And wait a minute, this graph is very important. This is the VI characteristics of a diode. This graph is very important, and this theory graph related this theory is very important. How you get this type of graph. Okay, this is the VI characteristic of any diode, PN junction diode. You draw this curve. This is the only the forward bias curve. Next is the complete drawing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next is the maximum forward current. It is the highest forward current at which PN junction will pass current without any damage or problem in the junction. If a large amount of current is flowing through any device, suppose you assume a machine, DC machine. DC machine, everything is written on the over the DC machine that this is the voltage level, this is the current level, this is the structure of this is the series type DC machine, this is the shunt type, this is the compound type DC. Everything is written on the plate over the outer cage of the DC machine. Okay, so if you apply the current above the rated current, what happened in the DC machine? Coil will be damaged. Similar thing happened in this case semiconductor. If you apply the voltage and the current flowing through the semiconducting material reaches a certain limit which can't withstand by that semiconducting material, what happened? Semiconductor will be damaged. That means a certain limit, up to a certain limit, it can allow to flow through the current within the semiconductor material or semiconducting diode. The maximum current a diode can withstand without any damage is called the maximum forward current. That means it is the highest forward current at which PN junction will pass current or allow the current without any damage or problem in the junction. This is the maximum forward current. Every device has a maximum current limit, minimum current limit. Similarly, a PN junction diode has also a maximum current limit, and the maximum current limit is it can withstand if the current is flowing through the semiconductor material, temperature will be increased. If the temperature will increase, more and more electrons will be flowing from valence band to conduction band. After a certain time, everything will be damaged. So if the total bonding structure will be breaks down, so total damage will occur. If the forward current will cross this rated value of the current, the junction will get crushed because of overheating. Okay, so you write this heading and only write these two lines up to this.
As the last case class is concerned, or even if you have difficulty, things will get simplified, like if you can just take up one numerical example.
Complete.
No, ma'am.
Next is the peak inverse voltage, not the PR. This is the peak, PEAK. Peak inverse voltage. Can anyone tell me this is a reverse voltage or forward bias voltage? Inverse voltage means reverse voltage.
Reverse.
Reverse. That means here from the figure you see, up to this voltage, if you apply the voltage in the reverse direction up to this point, the diode
Positive
can
also,
withstand the
in that
reverse
case,
voltage
the
in
inward
this
direction will be
direction.
negative.
So
Whatever you
this
take,
is the
it's absolutely
peak reverse voltage.
The nodes simply take,
That means
will give you the current.
Maximum allowable voltage in the reverse bias condition, a diode can withstand that voltage. This is
Positive
the
also,
peak
in
inverse
that case, the
voltage.
inward direction. One node
It is
and
the maximum reverse voltage at which
Now,
PN junction
over
will
here,
function
there is
properly without any damage in the
we are going
junction.
Sign
If the reverse
junction
voltage will cross the rated value
definitely greater than
of peak inverse voltage, the junction may get crashed by because of overheating.
positive also.
That means huge amount of current is flowing through the reverse direction and current is flowing, that means heat will produced and
Positive also. In
junction diode will be damaged. So we write up to this point, peak inverse voltage up to this point. When you buy a diode, you should follow this specification. What is the voltage level? What is the current level? Knee voltage, breakdown voltage, maximum current limit, peak inverse voltage, and maximum power rating. You should follow this point. And according to your necessities, you buy a diode. This is the specification of a diode. Actually, diode is a very small device. Diode are available in coding form. If you see the code and then you going to the chart where diode specification is there, and you just compare that this diode coding, which is the maximum power rating, which is the knee voltage, which is the maximum reverse voltage, which is the breakdown voltage. Okay. Next thing is the maximum power rating. It is the maximum power which can dissipated from the which can be dissipated from the junction without any damage or problem in the junction. This is the VI characteristic of PN junction, or this is the VI characteristic of a semiconducting diode. Next, what is the DC resistance and what is AC resistance? Complete up to this?
Writing the last portion.
Okay.
Done, ma'am.
Done. Then what is the DC voltage and what is the AC voltage? Diode always, actually we are all preferred that diode always operated in forward bias condition. If we apply the DC voltage, then always the P side of the semiconductor diode is connected to the positive terminal of the supply, and inside of the PN junction diode is always connected to the negative terminal of the supply. Okay. If we apply the DC voltage, then its current is flowing through the semiconducting device at a certain voltage, at a certain current we get current, voltage divided by current, we get the resistance. This is the DC resistance. This is called static resistance. Okay. I think it is clear for everyone. If we apply the DC current, if we apply the DC voltage, current is flowing through the diode, and at a particular voltage we get a particular current, and the ratio of the voltage and current is known as the DC resistance, and this is also known as static resistance. Similarly, what is the AC resistance? AC resistance means if we apply the AC current to the diode, then we get the resistance. This is called AC resistance. But diode always operated in forward bias condition. So AC has not a fixed terminal of positive, not has a fixed terminal of negative. Each and every moment, that is in India, 50 cycles per second. Per second, positive terminal converted to the negative terminal changes the positive terminal. So during the positive half, only the current flowing through the diode, and negative half, it will restrict. So in case of AC resistance, when we measure the AC resistance, we, instead of using a particular voltage, we use the change of voltage. For the change of certain voltage, how much amount of current will changes in the output circuit of the diode, the ratio of this voltage to current is known as the AC resistance, and this is called dynamic resistance. Is it clear for everyone or any doubt?
Clear, ma'am.
Clear? Everyone? Here you see in this figure, this is a VI characteristic of a diode. This is the forward region. This is the reverse region. Here, if we apply the DC voltage, then a particular, if this particular point, this is the DC voltage and this is the DC current. So DC voltage by DC current is the DC resistance. This is denoted by RDC. Or in case of RDC, we write the RD also. If we apply the AC voltage across the semiconductor, then what happened? Small amount change of voltage with respect, small amount change of current with respect to small amount change of voltage. The ratio of this change of voltage to the change of current is known as the AC current, AC resistance. Instead of using a particular point, we use the range of change of DC voltage to the range of change of range of change of AC voltage to the range of change of AC current. This is the AC resistance. So you solve this problem. Numerical problem is here. This is a determine the DC resistance levels for the diode shown in this figure at ID is equal to 2 milliampere, ID is equal to 20 milliampere, VD is equal to minus 10 volt. First, you write this problem and draw this graph. Very fast. হয়েছে? Complete?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then you see this curve. Here you see ID is equal to 2 milliampere. This is the current direction, this is the voltage direction. When ID is 2 milliampere, here you see this is the 2 milliampere current. At this condition, what is the voltage? That is the 0.5 volt. So what is the resistance? DC resistance, this is the ID, that means the DC resistance. Here also determine the DC resistance. So what is the DC resistance? ID is equal to 2 milliampere. You write ID is equal to 2 milliampere, VD is equal to 0.5 volt. So DC resistance is equal to 0.5 divided by 2 milliampere. What is the value? Problems are very simple.
250.
Yes?
250.
Unit?
No, ma'am. Why will I? No. I'm saying the answer.
Resistance, what is the unit? 0.5 volt divided ohm. 0.5 volt,
Resistance.
volt divided by milliampere. Wait a minute. I'm check 250 ohm. Okay, this is correct. Next, ID is equal to 20 milliampere. When ID is equal to 20 milliampere, at that time, what is the applied voltage? 0.8 volt. Then what is the DC resistance? Nilanjana, are you present in this class? Sorry. Sreushi, are you present in this class?
Yes, ma'am, I'm doing.
Okay, what is the value when current is 20 milliampere? Shubhradeep,
40 ohm.
40 ohm. Wait a minute, I will check. 40 ohm. This is the correct answer. Next, here you see VD is equal to minus 10 volt. Then what is the DC resistance? When VD is equal to minus 10 volt, then current is equal to minus 1 microampere. So you can easily find out the DC resistance, find out the value.
10 to the power 7 ohm.
10 to the power 7 ohm. That means a mega ohm. 10 to the power 6
Yes, ma'am. 10
mega
to the
ohm.
power.
6.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Pritam Shi,
Yes, ma'am.
Pritam, what is DC resistance? Please unmute yourself and give me the answer. What is DC resistance? Pritam, if you are not answering, then I will be absent for
Yes, ma'am.
today's class. What is DC resistance?
The ohmic resistance of a conductor.
What is the difference between AC resistance and DC resistance? Both are ohmic resistance.
DC resistance is directly dependent on the conductor material.
I am discussing about the semiconductor, not the conductor. So, what is the DC resistance in case of semiconductor, and what is the AC resistance in case of semiconductor? You are following the class or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Then tell me at when. Wait a minute. When DC current is 2 milliampere, I am giving you a problem that first criteria, that is the when current is 2 milliampere. What is the ohm? What is the resistance, DC resistance of that condition? You solve this problem or not?
Ma'am, 250.
You solve this problem or not?
Yes, ma'am.
How you get this value? Only current is given. How you get the voltage?
V equals to IR, ma'am.
I know V is equal to IR, and all of you are known that V is equal to IR. Here R is unknown, V is unknown. So how you get the value of resistance? And from where do you collect the V?
G- graph থেকে, ma'am.
Graph থেকে. In the graph at I is equal to 2 milliampere, then voltage is
Yes, ma'am.
at the graph which I have already provided to you. Here you see at I is equal to 2 milliampere. At that time, what is the voltage?
0.5.
0.5 voltage or millivolt? What is the unit?
Voltage, ma'am.
You are from second year student, so always you tell me the unit. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
And Kritika Dotto, are you present? Kritika,
Yes, ma'am, present.
last part of this question, that VD is equal to minus 10 volt. Then what is the resistance, DC resistance?
Ma'am, it's minus 1 microampere. It's given.
Then,
Yes, ma'am. From the graph, we calculate the value and we get 10 mega ohm. Yeah, yeah.
okay. Okay. Then I think all of you understand this problem. If this type of problems come in your exam, then you can solve it. Okay. Any doubt? DC resistance? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
Man Bharma, what is your problem?
No problem, ma'am. I'm saying
No
no.
problem. No. Then you solve next problem. You just write this problem and draw the graph. Complete?
No, ma'am. Drawing the figure.
Okay.
Ma'am, I didn't understand the last question.
Last question of this problem.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. First to solve first two. That means A and B. Then I will discuss in the last. Complete drawing and writing everything. Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Done,
ma'am.
ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Okay. Then you consider the first part, that is the A. Determine the AC resistance at ID 2 milliampere. Okay. So when you find the AC resistance, what we consider, instead of a particular voltage, we consider the range of voltage and corresponding the range of current. This is the procedure of finding the AC resistance. Here, ID is 2 milliampere. Here you see the graph. This is the 2 milliampere. So we take the center, the 2 milliampere, we consider the 2 milliampere is the center, and below the 2 milliampere and above the 2 milliampere, same portion. If we consider the 0 to 2 milliampere, then we again add the 2 milliampere, that means 2 to 2 milliampere, that means 2 to 4 milliampere. So change of voltage from 0 to 4 milliampere. What is the change of voltage? When current is 0, at that time voltage is near about 0.65 or 66 according to the figure. Hello?
0.6.
Ma'am, can you repeat, ma'am?
Hello?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
Yes. When we measure the AC resistance, or when we will find out the AC resistance, then what we do, instead of considering the 2 ampere, that means corresponding voltage is 0.7. Instead of considering the particular voltage, we consider the range of voltage and corresponding range of current. And keeping the defined voltage or given current or given voltage in the middle. That means 2 milliampere is given. So what we do, change of current, that means we consider 2 milliampere to 0 milliampere and 2 milliampere to 4 milliampere. That means total change of current, here we consider, here we assume total change of current is 0 to 4 milliampere. Okay. When current is changing from 0 to 4 milliampere at what voltage? That means 0 milliampere we get near about 0.65 or 66 voltage, and 4 milliampere is 0.78 or 79. From the graph, you see that graph. This is the 0.8. So this is should be 0.8, 0.78 or 0.79 should be this. So if the voltage changing from 0.65 to 0.78, the current is changing from changing from 0 to 4 milliampere. That means change of current is 4 milliampere and change of voltage is 0.78 minus 0.65. Clear? Instead
Yes,
of
ma'am.
considering the particular voltage, here we consider the change of voltage and corresponding change of current. You see the answer. Here for ID 2 milliampere, the tangent line at ID 2 milliampere was drawn as shown in the figure at swing of 2 milliampere above and below the specified diode current was chosen. That means we draw a tangent keeping the point 2 milliampere at the tangent point, and we swing from 2 milliampere below the 2 milliampere and above the 2 milliampere above the 2 milliampere. Above the 2 milliampere, that means the 4 milliampere, and below the 2 milliampere, that is the 0 milliampere. When ID is equal to 4 milliampere, VD is equal to 0.67 or 0.76, or from the graph, I think this is 0.76 or 0.78 maybe, no problem. Here clearly voltage level is not clearly calibrated, so we can you can assume 0.76 or 0.78 maybe. And ID, when ID is equal to 0 milliampere, then VD is equal to 0.65 volt. So resulting change in current and voltages are del ID is equal to 4 milliampere to minus 0 milliampere. That means 4 milliampere current is changing when voltage is changing from 0.76 volt to 0.65 volt. That means when voltage changing from 0.11 volt, current changing 4 milliampere. If we change the voltage 0.11 volt, current will be changed 4 milliampere. So AC resistance is equal to del VD divided by del ID. So this is the 27.5 ohm. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
In case of DC, we consider that 2 milliampere. So corresponding voltage is this. So voltage divided by current is equal to resistance. But in the AC, we consider the range. And 2 milliampere, here 2 milliampere, we consider a range. And this range is from 0 to 4. Because we consider that, draw the tangent at 2 milliampere. Similar thing in next case, that is the ID is equal to 25 milliampere. When ID is equal to 25 milliampere, that means this point, we consider a point below 5 and above 5. That means below 5, that is the 20 milliampere, above 5 is the 30 milliampere. So total change of current is 30 milliampere minus 20 milliampere. That is the 10 milliampere. And this rate of change of current is done by the changing of voltage. And what amount of that voltage? 20 milliampere, corresponding voltage is 0.78 or 0.79, and 30 milliampere corresponding voltage is 0.8. So change of voltage is 0.78 to 0.79. That means 0.8 volt minus 0.78, that is the 0.02 volt. And change of current is 10 milliampere. So resistance, AC resistance is equal to this voltage divided by this current, and this is equal to 2 ohm. Okay? This is equal to 2 ohm. Up to this, any doubt? Don't copy from the slide. You just understand this. If you understood, then you can easily solve it. Don't copy. You just understand this and do it your home. And if you again facing some problem, next class you ask me, again I will discussing this matter. Okay? Don't copy it from this slide. বলো কার কি কোশ্চেন আছে?
Positive also. In that case, the inward direction.
Any question up to this?
Whatever you take.
Next I will discuss point C.
Fine, but
any question?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Then go to the C. What is the question C? Compare the results of pair A and B to the DC resistance. Here we find out the AC resistance, and at A we get AC resistance is 27.5 and DC AC resistance for B, condition B, this is the 2 ohm. And same value, ID is equal to 2 milliampere and ID is equal to 25 milliampere, we again find the DC resistance. When we find the DC resistance, this is very simple. 0.2 milliampere, voltage is 0.7. So what is the resistance? 0.7 by 2 milliampere, that is the 350 ohm. And when 25 milliampere, resistance voltage is 0.79, I think. 0.79. So DC resistance is equal to 0.79 by 25 milliampere. So here you see AC resistance for condition 1, that is the condition A, 27.5, and DC resistance of that condition is 350, much high. And AC resistance for condition B is 2 ohm and DC resistance is 31.62. This is also high. So for same diode, DC resistance is high compared to the AC resistance. So we can easily use the diode as a rectifier. That means we can easily convert the AC to DC using the diode, because AC resistance is very less compared to the DC. Any doubt up to this? Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all of you first copy this question and draw the diagram and solve it at your home. If you are facing any problem, you ask me in the next class, I will discuss again this problem. Don't copy it from this slide. I think then it will be very clear for you and you can remember the procedure, how you find out the DC resistance, how you find out the AC resistance. Okay. So all of you give your attendance. 13 people are in this class. So all of you give your attendance in the WhatsApp group. Sorry, WhatsApp, not the WhatsApp group. In this chat box. Write your name in the chat box.
Thank you, ma'am.